All right, so the crypto market has been extremely volatile over the last couple of months, ever since we saw President Trump come into office. And recently we had a digital asset conference where President Trump spoke at. We've seen the Bitcoin reserve be established in the US. And so now, in terms of technicals, Bitcoin's price is really just on the edge of either having a massive breakout, start rallying to record highs, or potentially continuing this sideways movement. So if we're looking at in terms of technicals, the one thing you need to be aware of on a daily time frame is going to be, can Bitcoin's price close above $87,000 per coin? And if it does, that is going to be extremely bullish moving forward for the next couple of months. That's like a short-term outlook. But if it closes below it and we continue to not be able to break back above this 87K level, then it's very likely we're going to start to retest these lower levels of around $70,000 per coin. So on the short term, if you're trading, keep an eye out on this level right here at 87,000. That's the key level. But long term, things are looking really good. In terms of what's going on with the US, we've seen that Senator Cynthia Lummis came out and said that the US government should sell its gold and buy Bitcoin. This was at a Bitcoin Investor Week talk, and this has been something that she's been very outspoken about recently. We've also seen a lot of talks about how the US government and President Trump could potentially be buying more Bitcoin and strategies they could use to buy more Bitcoin moving forward. It's very likely that they're going to be trying to buy Bitcoin at some point, because Trump has said multiple times that he wants the US to be like the crypto capital of the world, and the only way they could do that is if they're buying more Bitcoin. So regardless of what's happening right now in terms of long-term outlook with the US government, things are looking really good. It's looking pretty likely that they're going to start buying more and more Bitcoin, if not now, probably in the next couple of years, at least before President Trump's his 4-year term is up. I wanted to quickly interrupt today's video to bring you a word from our channel partner CoinW, because CoinW has a massive listing with Mubarak. Memecoin is now live and officially trading on their platform. So if you trade any Mubarak futures, you'll get a random bonus between 5 and 200 USDT just for participating. If you hit 50,000 USDT in volume, and CoinW will give you an extra 2 to 100 USDT in trading bonuses. If you're a first-time futures trader on CoinW, you'll also get an additional 10 USDT bonus on top of other rewards. And if you trade just 1,000 USDT, you'll unlock a 50 USDT super bonus, which is a crazy value for such low volume. And not to mention, CoinW offers up to 60x leverage on Mubarak, which is the highest in the industry for Mubarak right now. And some things that I really like about CoinW is that there's no KYC required. It's been around since 2017. It has a smooth UI, solid liquidity, and really just a simple and easy and great platform to trade on. So if you want to get in early on this meme coin while stacking rewards, check out CoinW now using my link in the description. And let's get back to the program. In addition to this, if we're looking in terms of institutions, MicroStrategy, they raised $711 million to buy more Bitcoin, and this is something that's going to take them over 500,000 Bitcoin total owned. So the company sold 8.5 million shares of its 10% Series A perpetual Strife preferred stock at a price of $85 each, raised $711 million, and this is going to bring them from right now, or nearly 500,000 Bitcoin dollars. It's going to allow them to officially surpass that 500,000 Bitcoin mark. So right now they have a pretty large percentage of the total Bitcoin out there, and so they're continuing to add more and more to their position, and this is going to bring them to a total of over 500,000 Bitcoin tokens in their portfolio. So all of these things are good, but if we're looking at some of the bigger opportunities, I think Solana has a pretty big opportunity, because Solana futures ETF recently was approved. We saw 2 Solana futures ETF list in the US. And so even though we saw limited inflows on the day that these rolled out, a lot of analysts and experts are predicting that we're going to see more and more come into Solana futures ETF products and Solana as we see more and more institutional adoption. Because right now, you only can buy Bitcoin and Ethereum futures ETFs. Now we have Solana futures ETFs. And a lot of people are saying, look, the launch of the first Solana ETFs in the US could significantly boost Solana's market position by increasing the demand and liquidity for Sol, potentially narrowing the gap between Ethereum's market cap. Because right now, if you're looking at it, Ethereum has $239 billion market cap, and Solana is at right around $65 billion. Other thing that's happening with Solana If we saw Fidelity, they registered a Solana fund in Delaware. So they're eyeing a Solana ETF launch. So Fidelity Investments has registered a Fidelity Solana fund as a statutory trust in Delaware. This is important because it shows its plan, and like Fidelity's plan, to launch a Solana ETF soon. They wouldn't be having these companies registered if they weren't planning on using them, at least very soon. So this is like the first process to establish a Solana ETF, at least for Fidelity, and this demonstrates that they're really very, very interested in doing this and that they're likely planning on doing it. So all of these things could really help Solana's price reclaim record highs in 2025. Its all-time record high is right around that 200, and I believe it's right at $294 per token. So all of these announcements and developments and approvals could bring a lot more liquidity into Solana and could help propel it to all-time record highs and officially break that $300 per token level. Last thing I do want to talk about is going to be with Lingo. Lingo has made some pretty big announcements recently, and even though the price has come down, much like many altcoins, I'm very bullish on Lingo because Lingo is continuing to deliver on their promises. Recently, a Lingo staker who had just 800 Lingo staked walked away with a Rolex, and that's something that was, tens of thousands of dollars that they were able to have just by staking Lingo. And Lingo is an RWA platform. They're continuing to roll out more and more partnerships. They also recently said that they were taking a snapshot of all wallets that claimed RDAC airdrop, and if that's you, get ready. If not, there's still time to act. And so they're doing all these big giveaways and partnerships and rewarding their community, and these are things that you like to see for a company, especially when we're seeing the market not do too well, because when the market's not doing too well, it's nice to see that they're still rewarding their holders. So there's a lot of exciting things going on in the market, and in the short term, you need to keep an eye out on this $87,000 per coin level. And for Bitcoin, that is the most important, the key level that you need to be aware of. And so long term, I'm still bullish, but these are the things you need to be aware of right now if you're trading and if you're constantly looking for opportunities in the market.